This is Hollywood West, Dustin. Where do I want to go? Dude.
About like not
250 miles, 1,000 left to go. No matter how fast I drive, I always feel like I'm going slow, but that's alright. I'm doing fine.
We're about now, so I just about to say sorry for the delay, and we'll be right up. All right, man. See you in a few. Bye-bye.
You got to see his face on the close-up. It's bananas. Oh, no. He just took it away from him. He like, take it, he goes, hey, oh, give me this.
I was still going in anyway.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
and then,
just disheartening.
well, I came out of college, and I wanted to go to law school, and I promised myself 1 year in the entertainment industry, so that I only had 2 goals. One was to date a wannabe actress, and the other one was to go to a movie premiere. So I took a job as a bottom feeder at a little production company, and I took out the trash, and I made coffee, and I made Xerox copies, and I answered the phone. Then I struck upon this idea for SlamBall. I wrote up a little 3-page like prospectus, and I took it to this guy, Mike Tolan, that I worked for at that entertainment company, and he got it. Somehow he got it. I jumped on his desk and I said, guys will be up here and it'll be awesome. And yeah, at first he was like, get the fuck out of my office. I'm a TV producer. But as the months wore on and I wouldn't go away, he started to see that I was going to do this. I was going to find a way to make this happen, and somehow he could see what I could see in my head, even though I didn't have a court and I didn't have all these visuals and things like that. And when he got it, he said, he struck upon the idea. It's like, you can't launch a sport nowadays, but what you can do is you can get something on television. And if you get something on television, you can back your way into the traditional sports model. And that was really the genius. That was the eureka moment when Mike Tolan figured out how to actually take my goofy idea and make it work.
How important is getting someone else or another group of people on board and them sharing that vision with you? Was that a vital point?
Well, sometimes it helps to get other people involved, and sometimes it hurts. Yeah. It's really about finding the right kind of partner, the right kind of person that's going to be able to bring something that you can't bring to it. The biggest problem that I've ever seen in people launching ideas is that they've got a great idea, and then they bring in their buddy, or they bring in somebody that's exactly like them, that brings the same kind of, and you guys share the same kind of mentality, but then the divergences become, okay, nitpicky things. Yeah. Okay, I see this, well, goddamn, it's got to be like this, and then it's not so much the big picture.
One of the things that we talk about, we've been talking about on this trip with a bunch of different people, is the idea of find the open road and do your own thing, I mean, there's so many parallels to what you're doing. You just invented a sport. There was no blueprint. There's nobody telling you, Mason, don't do this because last time I invented a sport, whatever, because everyone else who invented sports is dead. Yes. Because it was 300 years ago. So, I mean, can you talk about, how did that, how's that for you? Just no one there to tell you, I made this mistake, don't do it, or I did this, do this. It was all you.
That was, it was far from all me. I just had a goofy idea, and other people came to it and they added to it, and we were smart enough to filter it in such a way that we didn't let it suck. And you touch on a really interesting point in that there isn't somebody running around that could offer me advice and do it this way and do it that way. And that's why I think it worked, because too many times when you're trying to launch anything, it's you got to deal with a laundry list of people who are the supposed experts on it. But because there wasn't a supposed expert on this, you could go into these warehouses, you could set this thing up, and you could just see what grew. So from there, we went into these warehouses in downtown Los Angeles because we didn't have any money. It was terrible. So I built the first court with a hammer. And then we'd be there at 8 o'clock the next morning, just ready to rock. We felt like we were doing something. We put on a little show, a couple games, and people came down to see it, and we were doing flips and all kinds of crazy stuff, and they were like, well, we got to see this on a full court. Once they saw this thing on a full court, they brought in some television people, and here was this fully developed underground sport that was ready for the video game generation. Yeah. And when they saw that, we went from just this goofy idea on a napkin to a national broadcast deal 18 months later.
What was going through your head when you were just like, you know what, I got to take more than a year. I really got to pursue this?
When I got the urge to follow my idea, it was really like putting blinders on. It's like putting blinders on a horse. You just run forward. You're not interested in anything else. You're just interested in going forward. I think, you know, young people that have ideas need to be encouraged to run with those ideas, because nobody else is going to have them. This is your time. This is your platform. This is your stage to succeed. And the only question is whether you're going to sack up and go after it, or you're going to, you know, get in the line. The whole concept of not giving up and showing the kind of perseverance is only going to attract people to what you're doing. So you feel like you have to go from A to Z. You don't. You have to go from A to D. Right. And then somebody's going to, it's like Forrest Gump running across the country. Somebody's going to show up and go, hey, that's pretty cool. Can I like roll with you? And you go, yeah. And by the time you get to like X and Y, it's like you got your crew deep, man. You're ready to fight. And, you know, then it's like, once you get that kind of validation, it makes all the sleepless nights and all the sleeping on the couch and the floor of your office and stuff make it worthwhile.
That was so good. Everything he said, he's amped on it. But like the fact that we didn't start talking for 20 minutes because he wanted to like show us a video and like show us what he'd done, like that's exactly it. You know, it's like being excited about what you've done. Creating a new sport is like it's like creating a new religion. Like who does that? Nobody.
That's even cooler than working for like a traditional sport. Like if that's soul finding your own road, like in the world of sports, like more than anything I've ever heard of in my life. That's awesome.
Yeah,
like,
I'd love to. Like,
I'd love to do it.
What is more like find your open road than like paving a new one? You know.